Okay, we'll do some linear equations revision. This is the first of the sheets that was handed out. Question 1, 7x plus 5 is equal to 9 take away 5x. Now, as I say with these, if you've got x on both sides of the equations, you look for the smallest or most negative of the terms. We've got 7x on the left-hand side, negative 5x, or take away 5x on the right-hand side, treated as negative 5x, which will be the most negative. So what we want to do is we want to add 5x to both sides. So here we have 7x plus 5x plus 5 will equal 9 minus 5x plus 5x, so we've added 5x to both sides. Over on the right hand side, negative 5x plus 5x cancels out, and on the right hand side we collect our like terms. So 7x plus 5x is 12x plus 5 equals 9, where we now have x on just the left hand side, so we need to move the numbers to the other side. So we look at this plus 5 here. The opposite of plus 5 is take 5, so we want to take 5 from both sides. So we'll have 12x plus 5 take 5 equals 9 take away 5. Here we have the plus 5 take 5 on the left hand side will cancel down, leaving with 0 there. And that'll leave the left hand side as just 12x equals 9 take away 5 is 4. Next we want to divide both sides by the 12, which is in front of the x. And the 12 and 12 will cancel down on the left hand side, which leaves us with x is equal to 4 over 12, which will simplify down to become 1/3. That's the answer to the first question. Okay, the next question that we have 2x over 5. Take away x take 4 over 3 equals 0. Now what I'm going to do is, if we look at the denominators, we've got 5 and 3. If we multiply them together, 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to multiply everything on the top by 15. And I'll put that into a bracket. And times that by 15 as well. So we have to multiply everything by 15, all terms by 15. Now the 15 in the first term here, 15 will cancel down with the 5 on the bottom and leave us with 3. In the next term, the 15 will cancel down with the 3 and leave us with 5. And on the right hand side, 0 times 15 will just equal 0. So that will now leave us with the top line simplified, 3 times 2x take away 5 by x take 4 equals 0. Now 3 times 2x is 6x take away, and I'm going to expand this out, so 5 times x is 5x. We should be treating it as negative 5 times x is negative 5x, so the negative stays there. And we also have negative 5. I'm treating that whole thing as negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 4 will be positive, because negative times negatives are positive. So negative 5 times negative 4 is plus 20 equals 0. We now need to collect our like terms. So we have 2x terms there. 6x take away 5x is x plus 20 equals 0. We now need to move the 20 to the other side. Opposite of plus 20 is take 20. So we want to take away 20 from both sides. The plus 20 and the take 20 on the left hand side cancel each other down. So that becomes a 0, so we end up with only x on the left hand side. On the right hand side, 0 take away 20 will be negative 20. And that's the answer for that one. Next question that we have, write in algebraic form, 7 is 4 times 5 more than x. If I look at this 5 more than x bit here, that's the equivalent of saying 5 plus x or x plus 5. Okay, so that bit there would belong together. We have that in a bracket. 4 times 5 more than x. What we need to do there, 4 times, is just going to be a 4 out the front of the bracket. And 7 is equal to. So 7 equals 4 outside a bracket, 5 plus x. Or it could have been 7 equals 4 x plus 5. Would be exactly the same thing. And that's that question. Next equation that we have, or next question that we have to work through. If 13x take 12y equals 12 and 12x take 13y equals 13 are simultaneously true, then x minus y equals. Now you might be able to see a bit of a pattern in here, but I'm going to take the long way around just to be efficient, make sure what I'm doing is right. I'm going to solve these first two equations, so I'm going to just list them down. 13x take away 12y equals 12, and we'll call that equation 1, and 12x take 13y equals 13, and we'll call that one equation 2. Now, to solve these simultaneously, we need to look for one of the coefficients to be the same. I'm going to see if I can make the x coefficients the same, these ones here. So for equation 1, I'll need to multiply that by 12. And for equation 2, I'll multiply that one by 13, which will bring these across to become 13 times 12 is 166. 166x take away 144y will be equal to 144. And we'll bring this one across as well. 12 times 13 is also 166. X take away 169y will be equal to 13 times 13 is 169. Now we have the situation where the two x terms have the same coefficient. They're both positive, so I'm going to take away. So the top one take away the second one, 166 take away 166 is 0. Negative 144y take away negative 169, so we've got the take away negative makes that a plus. So negative 144y plus 169y will equal positive 25y equals, now we have 144 take away 169 will equal negative 25. So we have 25y equals negative 25. Divide both sides by 25 leaves us with y is equal to negative 1. Now I want to take this and substitute that. So substitute y equals negative 1 into equation 1 will do. So we have, and I might just put a little box around that so we sort of don't get that too confused as a separate bit of working out. Sub y into equation 1, so equation 1 we have 13x take away 12y equals 12, or 13x take away 12, and y is equal to negative 1 equals 12. Or we have 13x, take away 12 times negative 1 would be plus 12 equals 12. We need to take away 12x from both sides. Not just take away 12, not 12x. Take away 12 from both sides, so that will cancel that down. And 12 take away 12 on the right hand side is 0, so that leaves us with 13x only on the left hand side will be equal to 0. Divide both sides by 13, we end up with x is equal to 0. So that's our x value, so we have x is equal to 0 and y is equal to negative 1. And the question is asking if those two equations are simultaneously true, then what does x minus y equal? So I'm just going to have a little section in here, squeezing it in. On your books you should space it out a bit better than this. And x minus y will be equal to, from here, x is equal to 0, minus from here, we have y equals negative 1, which equals, we have this minus take away, that makes that a plus in the middle, 0 plus 1, which equals 1. So the answer to this equation, or this question, is 1. Now, the next question. If Cheryl buys 5 Mars bars and 4 large packets of chips, the cost is $12.50, yet if she buys 4 Mars bars and 3 large packets of chips, the total is $9.50. Find out the price for each item. So we need to set up a couple of equations here that we're going to solve. So we have 5 Mars bars. We're going to say let M represent Mars bars, the cost of the Mars bars, it should be. Price. And we'll let C equal the chip price. So we've defined our variables at the start here. So 5 Mars bars and 4 large packets of chips, so we go 5M and 4 packets of chips equals $12.50. Similarly, for the second equation, that's the first equation, for the second equation we have 4 Mars bars and 3 packets of chips. That's equal to $9.50. That's equation 2. Okay, I'm needing to solve these, so I need to look for a coefficient of either M or C which is the same. Neither is the case, so we might eliminate the M's. So if we're going to eliminate the M's, we need to multiply this one by 4 and multiply this one by 5, and that will make them the same. So that will then give us 5M times 4 is 20M plus 4C times 4 is 16C equals $12.50 times 4 will be $12.50, double it's 25, double it again is 50. And then for the next one, 4M times by 5 is 20M plus 3C times 5 is 15C equals $9.50 times 5 is, let me work this one out. Yeah, if we get $9.50 and we double it, That will be 9 2s are 18, 19. So if we double it, that's 2 times, that's 19. Double it again is another 19. And then the fifth one is 950. Long way of working it out. A calculator would be much quicker. 9, 18, 27. 2, 3, 4. 47.50. Okay. Now we want to eliminate the m's, so in order to do that we're going to take away the second line from the first line. So 20m take 20m is 0. 16c take 15c is 1c equals 50 take away 47.50 will give us $2.50. Okay, so that tells us that the packet of chips is going to cost us $2.50. Now what we need to do is we will sub C equals $2.50 into equation 1. So we have 5m plus 4 lots of $2.50 equals $12.50, or 5m plus 4 lots of $2.50 times it by 4, we double it and double it again, so it's 250 doubled is 5, doubled again is 10. Now we have 5m plus 10, we want to take 10 from both sides here. Leaves us with just 5m on the left hand side, because 10 take away 10 cancels down, and 12.50 take away 10 is $2.50. Okay, now we want to divide both sides by 5, which leaves us with m is equal to $2.50 divided by 5 will be 50 cents, or 0.50. So that tells us that our packet of chips is $2.50, and for our Mars bar equals 50 cents or 0.50, and that's our answer. I better draw another red line there, make it look pretty. Not really. Now you should substitute those two values into the second equation to make sure that they actually work. That's always a good check. I've run out of space here, so I'm not going to do that. That's also because I'm a little bit slack at this point in time as well. Next question that we have here, for non-zero values of x and y, if 7x plus 12y equals 0, then the ratio of y over x is, what I need to do is take that equation, 7x plus 12y equals 0, and I'm going to rearrange it to get y divided by x on one side, and we'll see what the other side is equal to. So we'll just go 7x, I'll change colour there, 7x plus 12y equals 0. Now if I take away 7x from both sides, yep. So if we take 7x from there, we'll take 7x from there. Doesn't matter which one we took away, this will do. So 7x take away 7x will actually cancel them down on the left hand side, leaves us with 12y is equal to negative 7x. Next, if I divide both sides by 12, that'll cancel that down. Leaves us this y is equal to negative 7 over 12x. And then if we divide both sides by x, that cancels that down. Leaves us with y over x is equal to negative 7 over 12. And I believe that's what we're after. That's y over x is our y over x up here, and that is equal to negative 7 over 12. That was straightforward. Okay, next we have x over a, take away x over b, equals c, and we want to know what x is equal to, so solve it for x. In order to do that, we'll need to bring the two fractions on the left-hand side together, so we'll need to turn them into something with the lowest common denominator. In this case, the lowest common denominator is going to be AB, so the first term will need to multiply both the top and the bottom by B. And in the second term, we'll need to multiply both the top and the bottom by A. So that will now leave us with BX take away AX over AB equals C. Now, if we multiply both sides by AB, we'll cancel that down. Leaves us with BX take away AX on the left-hand side will be equal to ABC on the right-hand side. Now, for the left-hand side, we'll factorise x is common to both those terms, so we'll end up with x B take away A equals ABC. Now for the left hand side we want to leave x on its own, so we're going to divide both sides by that bracket. B take away A. And that will then cancel that down. Leaves us with x equals ABC divided by B take away A. And that's the answer to that. Now with that last term there, ABC on the top, it could be written as ABC or CAB or CBA. It doesn't matter, they're all multiplied together, so it doesn't matter which way you particularly write them out. Next equation, we have A is equal to pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. And in this instance we're told that r is equal to 4, a is equal to 256, and pi, we're going to use 22 over 7 for that. So what we now need to do is it's wanting to find out what h is equal to. So we're going to substitute some terms in and then we'll find out what we've got left over. So A is 256 equals 22 over 7 is pi times by r squared. R is 4. 2 times pi is 22 over 7 times 4 times h. So 256 is equal to 22 over 7 times 16 plus, I'm going to just multiply them together for a minute. 2 times 4 is 8, so this will be 22 over 7 times 8 times h. Now we need to do some calculations here, I think. What I'm going to work out is how many times does 8 go into 256. So I'm just sort of suspecting that 8 might go into that, and we can use some smaller numbers. I like dealing with small numbers if I can. 8 into 25 goes 3 times and 1 remainder. 8 into 16 goes twice. So 8, what I would do is if I divide everything by 8, so if that's over 8, if that's over 8, and that's over 8, That will cancel that down, leave us with 1. That will cancel that down and leave us with 2. And 8 goes into 256 32 times. So 32 equals 22 times 2 is 44 over 7 plus 22h over 7. Okay. Now, next, if we multiply everything by 7, (32 by 7), 2 7s are 14, 7 3s are 21, plus 1 is 22. So we end up with 224 is equal to 44 plus 22h. So we achieve that by multiplying everything by 7. So we times that by 7, we times that by 7, we times that one by 7. That cancelled that fraction down, that cancelled that fraction down. And 32 times 7, oh, what happened then? Back to there. And the 32 times 7 is equal to 244. Now if we take away 44 from both sides, 224 take away 44 will be 180, will be equal to 22h. Divide both sides by 22, we end up with h is equal to 180 over 22. And I'm sure we'll be able to simplify that down a little bit. If we just half both of those, that'll give us 90 over 11, which I believe will be the correct answer for that one. So h equals 90 over 11. That's a nice answer for that one. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question we have here, the mean of 4 numbers is x, and the mean of the same 4 numbers and 73 is 9. So our 4 numbers could be a plus b plus c plus d, and if they're divided by 4, then it's equal to x. Now it also says that the mean of the same 4 numbers, so a plus b plus c plus d plus 73 divided by 5 is equal to 9. Now if I take this first equation here and if I multiply both sides by 4, then that will cancel that down. That leaves me with 4x is equal to a plus b plus c plus d. Now if I get this block of a plus b plus c plus d, I can see that in the second equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute 4x into there. So that tells us that 4x plus 73 over 5 equals 9. Now if we multiply both sides by 5, so we're going to times this side by 5 and times that by 5, and that will cancel that down. Leaves us with 4x plus 73 is equal to 9 5s 45. Now I'm running out of space here, so I'm just going to flick this up to here. 4x plus 73 equals 45. Next we want to take away 73 from both sides, and that will leave us with 4x is equal to 45 take away 73 is negative 32. And then if we divide both sides by 4, cancels that 4 down, leaves us with x will be equal to negative 8. Next question we have. A number is multiplied by 5, so I'm going to call this number x. number multiplied by 5 will be 5x. And 2/5 is subtracted from this result. So we take away 2/5. And this is equal to 3/4. What is the number? So we have to solve this for x. So what I'm going to do is we'll add 2/5 of both sides. That leaves us with 5x will be equal to 3/4 plus 2/5. Now we need to get the lowest common denominator here is 20. So in order to multiply the first term by 5 over 5, and the second one we'll multiply by 4 over 4. And that will leave us with 5x is equal to 5 3s are 15 plus 2 4s are 8 over 20, which gives us 5x is equal to 15 plus 8 is 23 over 20. Now we need to divide both sides by 5. So what ends up happening here is we divide this by 5, and that ends up multiplying this 20 on the bottom by 5. And that cancels that down. Leaves you with x is equal to 23 over 100. And that's our result. Next one we have, the values of x that satisfy the inequality 5 take away 7x is less than 23. Basically we're solving this one for x. So what we'll need to do is, we've got positive 5 at the front there, so we need to take away 5 from both sides. That'll cancel that down. Don't lose the takeaway in front of the 7x, so negative 7x will be less than 23 take away 5 is 18. Next, what we need to do is we divide both sides by negative 7. If we're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, then that's going to change the direction of the inequality. So these negative 7s will cancel down. But that's going to mean that x will now be greater than negative 18 over 7, which will be the answer to that one. The key little trick here is we've divided by a negative in this instance here, which means that we have to change the direction of the inequality. So x is greater than negative 18 over 7. The next one that we have is a rectangle. And we have 11x plus 2 on this side and x plus 4 on this side. All dimensions are in centimetres, and the perimeter is equal to 108. So the perimeter, 108, will be equal to 2 lots of 11x plus 2 plus x plus 4, because this side down here is 11x plus 2, this side over here is x plus 4, so we've got to double both of those. So that will be equal to 2 lots of, bring the like terms together, 12x plus 6. Okay. 108 divided by 2 is going to be 54, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2 here. 108. And we're dividing that one by 2 as well. That gets rid of that. So we end up with 54, I should say. I'll rub that out. 54 is equal to 12x plus 6. Next we need to take away 6 from both sides. That will leave us with 54 take away 6 is 48 is equal to 12x plus 6 take 6, they've cancelled each other down. Next we want to divide both sides by 12. That cancels that down. Leaves us with x is equal to 48 divided by 12 is 4. So x is equal to 4 in this instance here. Next we have 1 over x take away 1 over 3x equals 1 over 12, and we want to solve this for x. So what we need to do is get a common denominator on the left hand side. So if I multiply the top and the bottom of this first one by 3, so that'll mean that this is 3 over 3x take away 1 over 3x equals 1 over 12. We have a common denominator here on the left hand side, so top numerator is 3 take away 1 is 2 over 3x equals 1 over 12. I'm now going to multiply both sides by 3x, times that by 3x on the other side there. That's going to cancel that down. Leaves us with 2 is equal to 3x over 12. And we can simplify this down here. 3 goes into 12 4 times. And then if we multiply both sides by 4, and times that by 4, that will cancel that down. 4 2s are 8, will be equal to x. And that will be the answer to this question here. Next equation we have is 1 over t plus 1 over s equals 1 over f. And this one is wanting to know what is s equal to. What we need to do is to bring this 1 over t across to the right hand side, this bit here to come over to there, and we'll do that by taking it away. So we'll end up with 1 over s on the left hand side equals 1 over f take away 1 over t. Now we need to invert the 1 over s. In order to do that, the right hand side needs to be a fraction, one complete fraction, not two terms like it is at the moment. So what we need to do is to get a common denominator, and the common denominator is going to be ft. So the first bit we're going to have to multiply by t over t, and the second bit we'll need to multiply by f over f, which will give us 1 over s is equal to t over ft take away f over ft, or 1 over s will be equal to t minus f over ft. Now this is where we get to the stage we've got fractions on both sides, so we can invert both sides, and that will give us s over 1, or s will be equal to ft over t take away f. Little trick in there, but that's the way that one's done. Now this question, a cyclist travels z kilometres in m minutes and x kilometres in n minutes. Find the average speed in kilometres per hour. So the average speed, the equation for that, average speed is equal to the total distance divided by the total time. In our case, the distance is equal to z plus x. And we're looking for a time in hours. So the time that we have is equal to m plus n minutes, or it's equal to m plus n divided by 60 in hours. Now, to work out our little equation, speed is distance over time. So we're going to have our distance, z plus x, that's going to be divided by our time of m plus n over 60. Now, if we divide by a fraction, we flip the second term upside down and we make this a times. So this will be equal to z plus x times by 60 over m plus n, which will be rewritten as 60 z plus x over m plus n. And that's how that one's done. Okay.